Hello, my name is Georgia Tidwell, and I am a librarian at West Lawn Middle School. And first of all, I would like to say thank you to all of our volunteers who are helping us with the first Tuscaloosa City Schools Battle of the Books. We really appreciate you because without our volunteers, we could not do this. And I have a little video that I've prepared to help you with training. We are doing this ahead of time, so you'll have a time to look over the handbook, look over the score sheets, go over the schedule and procedures, and have time to just get yourself familiar with the procedures and rules and all before you get there next week so that you have time to ask questions. We will have a brief meeting the day of Battle of the Books, and you'll find out exactly what your role is when you get there. But this will give you a chance to look over things. So if you're unclear about something, it should save us some time next week. First of all, our competition is February 28th. The actual competition is scheduled to start at 9:30, but we would like for all of our volunteers to be there by 9 to get signed in and find out what your assignment is and to go over a few last minute things or to answer questions. Between now and then, if you would like to ask questions, feel free to email me or another one of the TCS middle school librarians, and we'll be glad to answer your questions that you have. We will have 3 competition rooms going on at any given time during the pool play. The first part of the competition, the teams have already been assigned randomly to different pools, and those pools will each be assigned to a room. So there'll be pool A, B, and C will be in competition rooms 1, 2, and 3. So each school will be assigned basically to a pool. So that means that team will compete in the same room through the first part of the competition. And each one of the winners from the pools A, B, and C, those 3 teams will advance to the afternoon play, which is the single elimination play. And there also will be 3 wild cards. Once the top 3 teams, one from each pool, is determined, then the next 3 top scoring teams will also advance. So there will be 6 teams in the single elimination tournament play that will happen in the afternoon after the pool play is completed. Okay, first of all, let me tell you how the round works. There are 3 parts to each match, actually, and each match has 3 rounds. So the first round is a buzz-in round. It is where a question is asked about a book title. So the student will be asked a question such as, in which book is there a character who runs track? And if they are able to answer the name of the book, Ghost, then they will get points for that. If they're able to tell you the author's name, Jason Reynolds, then they will get extra points for that. So that's the first round. It's very general. The answer will be the title of a book and author. The second round is a worksheet with 10 questions, and the students will have to answer those 10 questions on the worksheet, and they get points for each correct answer. The third round is another buzz-in round, and that round is very specific questions about any of the books. They're very random, very specific, and the student will buzz in and attempt to answer for that. Let me go over the handbook a little bit, and then I'll give you a little more information. Teams can have up to up to 5 players. They're in the first round and the third round. Only 3 players can be playing at a time. So 3 players will have to be chosen by the team to buzz in. During the worksheet round, then they can swap in other members of the team. Everybody can work on that. I've gone through and highlighted some things in this. I'm going to send you the whole handbook, of course, but I've highlighted some things that are important to remember. We talked about who advances to tournament play, the top team from each pool, A, B, and C, and then the 3 wild card teams. If a player, if you have 3 players for the first round and the third round, you can swap in, like you can have 3 players for the first round, and if you want to swap out a player for the third round and have a different player on the buzzer, then that's okay. but you can't do it in the middle of a round. Like after 3 questions, you can't swap in players. You have to, once a player starts the first round, those 3 same players have to play those first 10 questions. And everybody can work on the worksheet, and then for round 3, the 3 players you start with have to answer all the 10 questions. And I went over what they were, how the questions work. The officials in the room, this is number 6 on your handbook. The officials, there's a moderator. The moderator is the person who reads the questions, and that is also the head judge in the room. So the moderator is the person who decides if the player buzzes in. They recognize the player, and they will say the player's name. The player must wait until they are recognized by the moderator to be able to answer the question. But the moderator's in charge of that, choosing who answers the question. The moderator also will determine whether the answer is correct or not. The timer tracks the seconds after the moderator finishes reading the question. Their job is to call time when time is up for the questions. The scorekeeper is going to account for players and substitutes. They record the points. So if the moderator says correct, then they will give the team the points. They also will announce the tally of the scores at the end of each period. This official, the scorekeeper and the timer, can actually be combined if necessary, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. In the room, the team has to be on time. If a team is not there when their match is supposed to begin, then give them 5 minutes grace period. If they don't show up within 5 minutes of the time to start, then they forfeit the round automatically. So give them 5 minutes. If the entire team is not there, if say they're missing a student or 2 students, once it's time to start the round, go ahead and start without those players, and they may not enter the room after the play has started. So you start without them, but they can't enter. Observers, parents, the team leaders, teachers, etc., they can be in the room watching the matches, but they may not help, of course. They also need to stay quiet. Any children in the room, they have to be quiet. There will not be any noise tolerated. If the moderator has problems with this, they can come get someone and we'll handle that. Also, there are no video cameras in the rooms, no kind of recording devices of any kind in the competition rooms. Toss-up questions. This is number 9. Toss-up questions, any player can buzz in to try to answer one of the toss-up questions in rounds 1 and 3. The player has to wait until they are recognized by the moderator before they start giving an answer. If a player gives an answer without being recognized, the moderator should ignore that answer and offer the question to the other team. So if the player buzzes in, moderator does not recognize them, another player from their team cannot buzz in. The moderator has to let the other team try to answer the question. At the conclusion of the reading of a toss-up question, the contestants have 5 seconds to buzz. So when the question is read, 5 seconds to buzz. If no player buzzes in, then the moderator will reveal the correct answer, and they will go on to the next question, so no one gets the points. Once a player is recognized to answer a question, he or she must begin answering the question within 3 seconds. If the answer is incorrect or not given in time, then the moderator will offer the question to the other team, and a player on that team must buzz in with a correct answer. And it's the same thing. They have to be recognized by the moderator. If when the player buzzes in, then they again have the 3 questions. If the question, or 3 seconds, if the question was read in its entirety already, then the moderator may not reread the question. A player may interrupt the reading of the question to buzz in. The moderator, as soon as the player buzzes in, the moderator will stop reading the question, recognize the player. If the answer is not correct or not given in time, the moderator shall go back to reading the question for the opposing team, and that team has 5 seconds to buzz in. Number 10 in your handbook, the worksheets. it consists of a worksheet with 10 questions. Each team will get 2 copies of the worksheet, put them face down on the table until you say start, and then the timer will start to time. They have 1 minute to do the worksheet. They will turn in an official copy of their answers. So they have 2 copies, but only one counts as their official worksheet that they will turn in. The timer can say after 30 seconds, they can warn them that they have 30 seconds left. They can warn them they have 15 seconds left, and then at the end of the period, they will just say stop. The moderator collects both copies, and they will check the answers. The scorekeeper will tell how many points each team earned. The moderator should not read the correct answers after this. Conferencing. You cannot, the students who are not in the buzz-in round, they cannot give answers. The teams, the players, the only time they can confer is during the worksheet round. During the toss-up rounds 1 and 3, the players cannot speak to each other. They can only buzz in and speak to the moderator. If an answer is disclosed before either team has a chance to answer it, then the question will be replaced with an emergency question from the question set, and you will be told which question set to use for each round or for each match, and that will be in your folder. Each moderator will get a folder with all the official score sheets, a copy of the handbook, the schedule, and so forth on that day. Protests, there can be a protest, but it has to, the answers are assumed to be correct, but if there is a protest, it has to be done before the next question is read. If they wait, it cannot be done at the end of a round. It has to be protested as soon as that question is done. So the team captain will raise his or her hand and wait for recognition, or the protest will not be acknowledged. Discrepancies in announced scores will be reconciled before the next period ends. The moderator's decisions are final. After the match is done and the scores are tallied, then it cannot be protested. That's just the judge's decisions are final. I have a copy of the score sheet to show you. This is the score sheet. It's really pretty simple. I'm sending this so you can look at it. It has at the top, of course, the pool and the round and so forth. It has each school's name, this school and school. And you should also, the moderator, or excuse me, the scorekeeper should record the names of each of the 3 students on each team, because there is an individual award at the end for each high scorer per team. So you'll have the name of the team up here of the school, and you'll have the students' names as well. On this first round, this is the one where you have to name the book, and you also get more points if you name the author. So if the student, let's say this student gets the name of the book correct, you will circle 5 because they get 5 points. If they get the author correct as well, you will also circle the 3 because you get a total of 8 points for the correct name of the book and author. So correct name of the book 5, circle the 3 also if they get that correct. At the end of that round, you'll total up your individual student scores and then do your team totals down here. Round 2, those are your worksheet questions. You just don't do individual students, of course, on this. You just do the total number correct times 5 points because each question has 5 points. So they're total 10 questions. Round 3 is the same as the top one. Really, you have your names of your individual students, and if they get it correct, you'll just circle 10 points because they get 10 per question. So circle the number, the student under the student name of who answered correctly, circle 10, and you'll tally up those as well. And then at the bottom, it has the total scores per round, and then you'll total up the team score at the end. When this is done, the official score sheet will be posted outside of the door of the competition room. So those will be posted outside the door of the competition room, and there will be someone there who will be tallying those up to get who goes to the next round and so forth. But this will be posted. The only official score sheets are this goldenrod color. So these are your official score sheets, so that way we know that that's official. Each team, each teacher in their packet is given a score sheet similar, so they can kind of keep up with their own score if they want to, but the official is only that one. There should be 4 adults available per room so that people can be swapping in and out, so that you can have breaks for restroom, water, snack, whatever. So there should be 4 per room so it can swap out.